Broadcasting live from the heart of the continental United States and sailing the steel breeze of the World Wide Web. With Hashem's help, this is the Nexus. Good evening, everybody. And welcome to our Thursday night gathering here pretty much every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central. I wasn't here last week, and it was a short notice. If we had able to do posts on Rumble, I would have been able to put it there. But we're also on X and YouTube as well, at the Idol Smasher. Thank you for joining us on the Nexus. As always, you're always welcome to join. We don't get a lot of folks who feel comfortable enough anymore. It's a bit different for folks to talk about it. But, just in case, we're going to go ahead and put the link over here in the chat. And if you want to join in, would love to have you here. Question, comment, compliment, complaint, suggestion. Please feel free. We talk about Torah every Thursday night, 8 p.m. And take a little reading of the Haftorah and whatnot, and just have some fun. And I like to touch base every week with you. Yes, you, my favorite viewer. And this week is Parsha Korach, which is about rebellion, which I think is very interesting. We have the concept of rebellion now with what's going on with the war effort over in Iran, L'chaim. You see the perspective of the all-American idiot is that Israel controls America and the Jews control everything. Did you stub your toe? It's a Jew's fault somewhere. You should live in a world without stubbing your toe. But the Jews changed that. And then we have other people saying that, no, we own Israel and Israel needs to heal, boy. They need to heal. Look, I'm big man on campus here, and Trump, bless him. I'm glad he's my president. I did vote for the man this past time. But when he once in a while he just says something stupid. And this week in Trump Israel news, Israel wouldn't exist without me. Not the best words to use when discussing the Holy Land and the Jews in it. I don't think that was a great idea for our president to say something like that. It's only by God's will that they're even there. It makes no sense how they could still be there. Statistically, they should all be wiped out. With as many wars as they've been in, and as many times as they've been attacked, and as many missiles have been dropped on that little country, they should be dead, and they're not. The fact that they're there is a miracle in and of itself. But no, Israel was fighting a war before we got there, and it's now Netanyahu and Trump have split. That was Israel's war. It's still Israel's war. They still have bad guys who want to kill him, and they're not going to stop. Simple as that. Well, it was a minuscule attack that you could fight off. And I look at it this way. If a man's over here cleaning a shotgun, not loaded, but there are shells, and cleaning a shotgun, you got a guy over here throwing rocks at him. And some of them get close. Some of them might have hit him. You can't do that and expect not to get shot. In fact, you should be shot. This is the argument that people always use, and the fact that we got Vance and Trump, stop blowing stuff up, Israel. There's better ways to do things. Well, you know what? Iran doesn't know that. The mullahs don't know that. These crazy-ass Islamic people, extremists, whatever you want to call them, don't know that. They're going to kill the Jews no matter what you do and no matter what our country does, no matter how many bombs you drop. They're not going to stop. And this is where, and so, yes, Israel has every right to defend itself 24/7, 7 days a week, sadly. That's their job. Not sadly that they defend themselves, but they have to be that way on Shabbat. There's going to be a time when Israel will be there and will live in peace in their land. No threats. The world will be like that actually one day. We're getting there. Yeah, a little disappointed in my government. Now, I don't think they're split. I think a lot of this is honestly is theater because people have such goofy notions about these two and one ruling the other and all this jazz. Um, and again, it's not that anybody has a problem with the Jewish people. What they really have a problem with is their God. Because who cares about the Jews? Really, what do the Jews do to stir up so much trouble? Do they change the course of rivers and pollute the moon and stars? As the great man said, Bob Dylan in Neighborhood Bully. What do they do that's so wrong? What? You don't like musicals? You don't like to laugh? They're lawyers, but most people use lawyers, so I'm not gonna talk about that. But lawyers, I can't stand them. But really, what do Jews do that's so bad? Nothing. You have to make stuff up. You have to look at comic book level villainry to be able to blame Jews for stuff. It's insane. And if this is the way that people want to go, that's their choice. But there's a divide being made, not unlike the divide we read in this week's Torah portion. So let's just go ahead and get into it and look at this one part of the portion named Korach. This is named after a relative of Moses, a member of the priestly class, and he's one of the people charged with carrying the ark throughout the wilderness. So it wasn't like this was an uneducated man, but things didn't go. He wanted more. He thought he knew better than than God, really. So let's move over here to Chabad.org. Yes, Chabad. You seriously, if you believe, see, here's another thing. Chabad's Jewish outreach. They keep websites up. They have all the Torah you could read, all the commentary you could read right now, English and the mother tongue, and Aramaic and what things are written in. They're that's all it is. And Tucker Carlson has to make stuff up for the Jews. Yes, Jews are human, and human beings suck. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't say that, but no, we do. I think we're disgusting, vile species, and I don't particularly care for us. I really don't. But they're also not Lex Luthor. They're not Magneto. Okay, they're not. They don't have mind control over the whole world, and all the money is run by Jews. Jooz. I say I write because they don't even like. They don't dislike real Jews. They only dislike an illusion of them. Dangerous enough. Don't get me wrong. All right. Starts off. Korach, son of Yitzhar, son of Kehat, son of Levi, took himself aside together with Dathan, Abiram, sons of Eliav, and On, son of Pelet, descendants of Reuben. They confronted Moses together with 250 men from the Israelites, including princes of the community, basically elders, not prince like you think, not it doesn't work like that. Elders is a better word, I think, in many more translations. They were revered, don't get me wrong, but not the prince that we're used to in the West. Princes of the community summoned for the meeting and other men of repute. These weren't idiots. They assembled against Moses and Aaron. They said to them, "You take too much upon yourselves, for the entire community, all of them are holy, and God is in their midst. Why do you raise yourselves above God's assembly? What makes you so great? Who are you?" This is a tactic of the adversary, by the way, the Satan, the divine tempter, to test your goodness. Who are you to want more money? Who are you to want a bigger house? Who are you to want a promotion? Who are you to think you could finish that? Who are you? That's one of the great tactics. And in many religions of men, this is the basis for their entire religion. Like some we know. You're born filthy, you're born sinners. Now, I just got through saying I don't like us. I'm not a fan of the human species by any stretch of the imagination. However, I'm never going to tell somebody, who are you to want to get better? Who do you think you are praying in public, at the dinner table? And who are you to, who do you think you are? And this is what he said to Moses: we're all holy. This is a tactic of many of the Christians today. The Orthodox will say there is no Israel. We are the new chosen people now, and there's nothing you can do about it. Heard a Russian Orthodox. I don't know if he was Russian. I think he was Russian. It was a Russian or a Greek. Gosh, I don't remember now. We're the new. The Christians do that too. They're the new Israel, and the Muslims come along and they're the new and improved Israel. Well, who are they to be? Who are the Jews? Who are they to be so haughty? I love God. I do my best. I live my best every single day to lead a good, decent, clean life. I pray. I love my Creator. Why are the Jews? I'm one of the chosen too. We're grafted in because we care, and by our own standards. This is pretty much what Korach is doing. Okay? Who are the Jews to be chosen? It doesn't matter. Because God said so. Because they were descended from the most hospitable man in history. The one man that God calls friend, Abraham. And that covenant carries on. There's a man who remembered the covenant of Noah and kept it. Yes, Abraham was a Ben Noach. So he's got 250 men after him. Who do you think you are? Why do you raise yourself above God's assembly? That was Korach's perspective of Moshe. It was God who chose Moshe. It was God who saved Moses in the river in Egypt. And it was God who made him prophet. This is like the Israelites whining about meat, given manna. The pillar, the angel, is right there. You can't miss it. God makes it real obvious. He's still with them, and and here's this guy here. Who was it that brought them out of Egypt? God, but by whose hand? Moses. Moshe Rabbeinu. That's who did it. The prophet, the great prophet, led them out, and God chose him to do it. God could have confronted Pharaoh, and I'm sure he did in his dreams, possibly. He knew something, but no, he sent Moses. And he sent Moses to talk to the Israelite. When Moses couldn't, he had Aaron do it. That was God's directive. He didn't place Moses above everybody, except for that one part, maybe after the golden calf. I'll make you my nation. Them. It's kind of what God said. He was angry. When Moses heard this, he fell on his face. He spoke to Korach and to all his community, saying, in the morning God will make it known who are his and who is holy, and he will draw them near to him. He will allow the one he chooses to sacrifice to him. All right, let's just keep reading. We're going to read this for a minute. We'll talk about it in a second here. Do this, Korach, and all his community. Take for yourselves fire pans. Place fire into them and put incense upon them before God tomorrow. The man whom God will choose is the holy one. The man whom God will choose is the Holy One. I have given you a serious warning, sons of Levi. Sometimes we say Levi. Moses said to Korach, please listen, sons of Levi. Here I go again. It is not enough that the God of Israel has distinguished you from the community of Israel to draw you near to him, to perform the service in the tabernacle of God, and to stand before the community to minister to them. He drew you near, and all your brothers, the sons of Levi, with you. Will you seek the priesthood as well? Therefore, you and your entire community are convened against God. For what is Aaron that you should complain against him? Moses summoned Dathan and Aviram, sons of Eliav, but they said, "We will not go up. It is not enough that you have brought us out of the land flowing with out. You have brought okay, here we go. It not enough that you have brought us out of a land flowing with milk and date and fig honey to kill us in the desert, that you should also exercise authority over us? Oi, you have also not brought us a land flowing with milk and date and fig honey, nor have you given us an inheritance of fields and vineyards. Even if you gouge out the eyes of those men, we will not go up." Moses became exceedingly distressed, and he said to God, "Do not regard their offering. I have not taken a donkey from a single one of them, and I have not harmed a single one of them." Moses said to Korach, "You and your entire congregation must present yourselves before God, you, they, and Aaron, tomorrow." Let each man take his fire pan and place incense upon it, and let each man present his fire pan before God, all 250 fire pans, and let you and Aaron each take his fire pan. Each man took his fire pan, and they put fire upon it and placed incense upon it, and they stood at the entrance to the tent of meeting with Moses and Aaron. Korach assembled all the congregation against them at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and the glory of God appeared before the entire congregation. God spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "Disassociate yourselves from this congregation, and I will consume them in an instant." They fell on their faces and said, "God, the God who knows the spirits of all flesh, if one man sins, should you be angry with the whole congregation?" God spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the congregation, saying, withdraw from the dwelling of Korach, Dathan, and Aviram." Moses arose and went to Dathan and Aviram, and the elders of Israel followed him. He spoke to the congregation, "Please get away from the tents of these wicked men, and do not touch anything of theirs, lest you perish because of all their sins." They withdrew from around the dwelling of Korach, Dathan, and Aviram. But Dathan and Aviram came out, standing upright at the entrance to their tents, together with their wives, their children, and their infants. Moses said, "With this you will know that God sent me to do all these deeds, and that I did not devise this myself." So basically, they're blaming Moses. We could do better. We could be better. That was what the rebellion was about. We can do it better. Who are you? If these people die as all people die, and the fate of all people befalls them, God has not sent me. But if God creates a new creation, that the earth opens its mouth, swallows them and all that is theirs, and they descend alive into the grave, you will know that these men have provoked God. As soon as he finished speaking all these words, the earth beneath them split open. The earth opened its mouth, swallowing them and their households, and all the men who were with Korach and all their property. Sent to the grave alive. I had one rabbi tell me that this was a creation on the sixth day, the mouth of the earth. The earth opened its mouth, swallowing them and their households and all the men who were with Korach and all their property. So it looks like they provoked God. It's not a happy thing, but with all the people now trying to influence Americans away from Israel, whether they know they're doing it or not, some people just gripe and moan and blame. We've learned that the internet is not real life, Baruch Hashem, but there are still people that are influenced by it. If you don't want to support Israel, fine. You don't have to be against her, too. You don't have to stand with her enemies. That's not good. Excuse me. Oh, boy. Do I have to turn you off? Looks like I have to turn you off. Is someone trying to get in here? John got in touch with me a couple weeks ago. He wanted to come in, but no, it's not John. Okay. We don't get to see John too much in here anymore. This is about rebellion and ego, and it really is an egotistical problem. Idolatry starts with the ego. All idolatry truly is egocentric. Let us make something for us to have to put in the way of Moses. They needed something. It was their egos that built it. Their egos that caused it. This is your God now, Israel. This is your God. That's what the people were saying to him. So we have some rebellion, not just war against, not just the Amalekian, version, but it's spread. I can't believe there are people out there who believe it. Good friend of mine's like, I gotta tell you, and he knows who I am and what I do, and he's my brother from another mother. My brother, really, cousin, whatever. He's like, I don't know if I can trust the Jews. I can't do it, because he's been talking to people and they say things. I'm like, well, don't trust the Jews. Trust their God, because even with the Jews, it's not about them. A humble man doesn't think less of himself. He thinks of himself less. The ego is really an illusion. And it's necessary in many ways. It's also quite deceptive. There's going to come a time when the earth is going to eat up more. And even with that, the dead will rise. That's going to be a fun day. Let me tell you what. It's as horrific as it sounds. I haven't seen it yet, but yes. David, finally got to saw the film David. I didn't get out when it was in the theaters, but that is a good film. That is the animation's really, really well done. And there's no other message in there. There's no, other religion that's promoted in it, like we often get with anything out of the Tanakh, what we call the Old Testament. Quite often when we get those, it has to justify its religion in there somehow. And this one didn't do that. So good for them. Good for the folks. I guess Angel Studios, did it. But it was neat. And a lot of fun. And the kids will love it. I watched it with my oldest girl, and she enjoyed it as well. And I bet you, my favorite viewer, will enjoy it as well. That slingshot's dangerous, man. Can do some damage. Seriously, do some damage, dude. Get the slingshot out. And Og, if I'm not mistaken, is he was the final Nephilim, the final Rephaim, the final giant, left alive on the earth at that point. And David took him down. David splattered him. Oh, man, what a day. What a day. Israel's going to be the same way. You don't have to like them. But I would suggest really doing some soul searching first before you stand against them, if you must. I wouldn't do it. It's not going to wind up good for you. Okay? It's just not. Take it from someone who's tried pushing God out of his life a couple times. You just can't do it. I just can't. Just slap in my vein, tie me up, Torah. You can't walk away from it. It just doesn't work like that. And for my friends who do walk away and you wonder why you're having a bad time, why you're not happy, why, think about it. Think about it. You signed up for this. You accepted the law on you. Some friends like me accept the whole law and I just keep what I can. Keep the 7 and do what you can. But to rebel against God. And this doesn't mean I'm talking like actually rebelling against God. And that's what Torah, that's the thing about Torah is God gives you a list. He gives you prophets. He gives you writings. He gives you scripture. He gives you a guide, a written guide. And it takes some Torah study to know where you can and can't go wrong. Keep the 7, but to rebel against God. You want to rebel against the Jews now. Now you're going to rebel against the Jews now. Oh, are they too uppity? Are they uppity defending themselves? Are they uppity now? Is that it? Well, those Jews are uppity and it's called Jew don't take no more. Jew doesn't take it no more. We're tired of it. And we're going to stand our ground. And let me tell you, this is the Messianic times. This is Gog and Magog. This is it. And if Trump is turning away from the state of Israel, then let God not forget those in America who stand with Israel, because that will not end up well for him. They're not your little bitch, and they owe you nothing in compared to God, who's the real reason they're there. Not you, not me, and not my great nation, not us. So, with that, let's move right along to Haftorah. Haftorah is a section of the Hebrew Bible directly pertaining to this week's Torah portion, but is not of the Torah itself. And this allows for the Torah to be taught even when they try to take the Torah away from because of where the Jews get their power, that they're so uppity. It's the Torah. So take the Torah away, and they can still find the Torah in all the prophecies, and still teach and still keep the tradition going. It's kind of a neat story. Samuel 1, or 1 Samuel. Technically, it's the book of Samuel, but we broke it up to make things easier. Christians broke it up, actually, but it's been broken up to make it easier to read. 1 Samuel, chapter 11, couple verses to move on to chapter 12. Link to this particular reading is right down below in the description if you're watching on Rumble. We're broadcasting live from Rumble Studios. We're also on YouTube as well, and you can find the link. If you're on X, just head on over to Rumble, and you'll see the link down there in the description. Hit that, and you're right here. Otherwise, you can go to Chabad.org, Learning and Values, bada boom, bada bing, Parsha text. And it's got a weekly scheduled reading and then the Haftorah. So without further ado, it is warm in here. And again, I apologize for last week. Sometimes, as you know, I've been having back pain and some sciatica. I'm going through my first physical therapy. I did my first exercises yesterday, and today was the first day I did them on my own. But it can affect your digestive system, okay? Sometimes you can ingest certain products that kind of got to move you right along when you haven't been moving right in some time. And that's not always conducive to an online live, just biblical discussion. So again, I apologize. Because I let me tell you, it might be gentle overnight relief or overnight, but it's relief. It works. Okay. 1 Samuel chapter, Baruch Hashem for a functioning digestive system with all the holes and the orifices in our body. Without them functioning, we would surely die. Okay. So Baruch Hashem for that system. It's not pleasant, but thank God for it. Thank God mine works. And yours works too. And may it work for all of us out here. Okay. I didn't turn the AC on before I started. And the wife's out of town, so, I just don't think of things like that. I always sweat in here. Okay, 1 Samuel chapter 11, enough about me. And Samuel said to the people, "Come and let us go to Gilgal and renew there the kingdom." And all the people went to Gilgal, and there they made Saul king before the Lord of Gilgal, and there they slaughtered peace offerings before the Lord, and Saul and all the people rejoiced greatly. Chapter 12. And Samuel said to all Israel, "Behold, I have hearkened to your voice, to everything which you have said to me, and I have made a king to reign over you. And now behold, this king is walking before you, and I have become old and hoary, and my sons are here with you, and I have walked before you from my youth unto this day. Here I am, bear witness against me before the Lord and before his anointed. Whose ox did I take, or whose ass did I take, or whom did I rob, or whom did I oppress, or from whose hand did I take a ransom, that I hide my eyes therewith, and I shall restore you?" And they said, "You did not rob us, nor did you oppress us, neither did you take anything from anyone's hand." And he said to them, "The Lord is a witness against you, and his anointed is witness this day, that you have not found anything in my hand." And they said, "He is witness." And Samuel said to the people, "It is the Lord who made Moses and Aaron, and who brought your forefathers up from the land of Egypt. And now stand, and I shall reason with you before the Lord concerning all the righteous acts which he did to you and to your forefathers. When Jacob came from Egypt, and your forefathers cried out to the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, and they brought your forefathers out of Egypt, and they made them dwell in this place. And they forgot the Lord their God, and he delivered them into the hand of Sisera, the commander of the army of Hazor, and into the hand of the Philistines, and into the hand of the king of Moab. And they waged war with them. And they cried out to the Lord and said, "We have sinned, for we have forsaken the Lord, and have served the Baalim and Ashtaroth." I don't care if I mispronounce that God's name, because I don't buy it. Idols. I'll smash the name. I'll smash the idol. I'll smash its name by not speaking it properly. Now save us from the hand of our enemies, and we shall serve you. And the Lord sent Jerubbaal and Bedan and Jephthah and Samuel, and he saved you from the hand of your enemies round about, and you dwelt in safety. And when you saw that Nahash, the king of Ammon, came upon you, you said to me, "No, but a king shall rule over us when the Lord your God was your king." And now behold, the king whom you have chosen, whom you have requested, and behold, the Lord has appointed a king over you. If you will fear the Lord and serve him, and hearken to his voice, and you will not rebel against the commandments of the Lord, both you and the king who reigns over you will be after the Lord your God. But if you will not hearken to the voice of the Lord, and you rebel against the commandments of the Lord's hand will be against you and against your fathers. Even now, stand and see this great thing which the Lord will do before your eyes. Is it not wheat harvest today? I shall call to the Lord, and he will send thunder and rain, and you shall know and see that your evil is great, which you have done in the eyes of the Lord, to ask for yourselves a king. And Samuel called to the Lord, and the Lord sent thunder and rain on that day, and the people greatly feared the Lord and Samuel. And the people said to Samuel, "Pray for your servants to the Lord your God, and let us not die, for we have added to all our sins evil to ask for ourselves a king." And Samuel said to the people, "Fear not, you have done all this evil, but do not turn aside from following the Lord. You shall serve the Lord with all your heart, and you shall not turn aside. For then you would go after vain things which cannot profit nor deliver, for they are vain. For the Lord will not forsake his people for his greatest name's sake, for the Lord has sworn to make you a people for himself." As David was a man after God's own heart. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. right here at a Rumble Studio, also simulcasting on the Orphans of Avraham. We've got the private group on Facebook. Join us over there. YouTube at The Idol Smasher, and X as well at The Idol Smasher. And buymeacoffee.com/The Idol Smasher if you want to see me spruce up the Radio Shack here and get things going. Maybe a little nicer looking studio, if you want to call this a studio. I'm not here to look good. I just like talking Torah and hope you do too. Most of my views come about 24 hours after I do the show, but they're there and we get them on all the platforms. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for stopping by. We'll be back here next Thursday, 8 p.m., God willing, and would love to see you there. Really would. It'd be a lot of fun if we could, have a chat. But until then, James, the Idol Smasher, thank you for tuning in. Shabbat Shalom. Be well. Take care of yourself and take care of someone else too. Peace.